I attended an event at St. Matthew's Academy in Lewisham last Wednesday. And happily we have sitting here amongst us a number of students from that academy, along with members of staff. It was a truly inspirational occasion. And it reminded me why I came to be involved with Urban Synergy. My passion for this job as chair of this charity stems from my day job. You see, in my day job, I'm a barrister, and I've spent the last 15 to 20 years of my life, for the most part, defending youngsters at the Old Bailey, killing each other. There are 18 courts at the Old Bailey, and on any given day, if you were to take a tour of those courts, you would find that at least 12 of them involve youngsters under the age of 25 charged with murder. And we know what the consequence of a conviction for murder is. It's life imprisonment. And then as the defense counsel, you have to walk the gauntlet of the grieving mothers, and it's mostly mothers, outside. And having lived through that experience from Damilola Taylor until quite recently, 3 young men, members of a gang called One Chance, based on the Myatsfield estate, who shot and paralyzed a 5-year-old girl in a general store in Stockwell. Now, those kind of experiences teach you that there is a lot of work to be done. I do not accept that young men are born naturally with that sense of ruthlessness. I do not accept that for one moment. But I do think that it is in our hands to rectify that situation, because the fact is these youngsters have grown up out of a soil plowed and sown by our own hands. Grown up with a different sense of right and wrong, not the right and wrong we believe in and understand, but the right and wrong of their own survival. And so what can be done about it? Well, I think education is the key, which is why I devote my time to going around schools and universities encouraging young people that they can achieve. And that achievement is not the given right of a particular category of citizen, but it's the right of us all. So education is the key, because the youngsters I'm defending are, for the most part, uneducated, even though intelligent. And there has been a historic pattern of behavior in terms of the education of these youngsters. From the 1970s, Professor Gus John was talking about the difficulties being faced by certain youngsters going through the education system. It's an historic problem, because we have a situation where, just to take one example, at age 5 or 6, most black youngsters are above the average. By 14 or 15, they've fallen behind. Why? I think it's a question we as a society need to ask ourselves. Why? Why are they more likely to be excluded from schools? Why? Why is it that when you go to Feltham Young Offenders Institute or to ISIS Young Offenders Institute in Belmarsh, that the vast majority of the inmates are, guess what? Black. Why? These are important questions which are not being asked. Because we have a situation where these youngsters are leaving school uneducated and, for the most part, unemployable. For the most part. And yet, They want to make money, and they want to make big money. The gang name, One Chance. What do you think that means? I have one chance to live. I'm going to seize my opportunity now, in whatever way possible. That is the mentality, because that is the mentality they've absorbed from the culture within which they live. These youngsters that I defend are the biggest capitalists out there. Trust me. Trust me. Now, what this organization is about is educational achievement. It's about changing the inevitability of the pathway which many youngsters in the inner city take. That's what Urban Synergy is about. Aptly named, urban. And what does that require? It requires support not just from the immediate family. I have mentioned the mothers outside, but not the fathers, the Old Bailey. So it needs the support of the family, although I do not subscribe to the theory that absent a father, a single mother cannot achieve. I've seen too many single mothers who have achieved. So that by itself is not the answer. It also needs the support of organizations like this. It also needs a sense of community. That oft-used phrase, it takes a village to rear a child. Let me tell you something. I grew up in West Kingston. I was born at 66 3/4 Chisholm Avenue. My elder siblings, there were 9 of us, 8 boys and 1 girl, went to Johnstone Primary and Trenchstone Senior School. And the thing is, if we were misbehaving on the way home from school to Chisholm Avenue, don't you dare allow a neighbor or a friend or a church, a colleague of your parents to see you. Because firstly, they're going to clap you upside your head. And then when they get to tell your parents, you're going to get a second beating. But that sense of community has somehow dissolved. And who's to blame for that? Us. We are to be blamed for creating this situation. So it's in our hands to fix it. And Urban Synergy is one of the ways in which we as a community can contribute to fixing it. That is the bottom line. Community. And that community also can help to finance a project like this. I remember back in the 60s, you remember Pardner? You remember Pardner? How did most of our parents buy their houses? Remember Pardner? Never went to the bank. When it became apparent that certain kids weren't being educated in schools, who set up Saturday schools? Who did? We have a history of that kind of self-help. And I think we need to remind not only ourselves, but this younger generation of that rich tradition we have of enterprise, of imagination, of helping ourselves to progress. That's what this organization is about. And I'm grateful that there are so many imaginative people who have become involved with this organization, and hopefully will sustain it over the years to come. Thank you very much.